We'll call to order the Greenwood Fire Department Merit Commission meeting on Thursday, February 15th at 2024 at 4 p.m. First order of business is roll call.
Steve Dunn,
Present.
Don Fouts,
Present.
Matt Holmes,
Present.
Cindy Reinert,
Present.
and Mike Tapp.
Present.
All members accounted for and present. Next order of business is approval of the December 6th, 2023 minutes. I think everybody got a copy emailed to them by Kim, and there's a copy in front of us. Is there a motion to approve?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Don Fouts. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mike Tapp. Discussion on the motion to approve the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item of business is annual election of officers. We need to elect a president, a vice president, and a secretary treasurer.
The secretary.
Secretary. There's no treasurer, right? We don't have any funds to do anything with it,
Right.
so yeah. We wish we did, but we don't. So I think we'll take them in order unless there is different item. Is there nominations for president? I will continue if it is the desire of the commission.
And I will nominate Steve Dunn.
Motion by Don Fouts, second by Cindy Reinert. Discussion on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Okay, so I am elected as the president again for this coming year. Nominations for vice president of the commission,
Who's sitting in that position now?
Don Fouts.
He's not going to look good.
Do you want to?
No,
Do you want to continue?
yeah, I'll continue.
We're just looking at him like.
Motion?
I will nominate Don to continue to serve.
Right. Motion by Mike Tapp to nominate Don Fouts as vice president. Second on the motion.
I'll second.
Second by Matt Holmes. Discussion on the motion. No discussion. All those in favor of electing Don as vice president signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. A nomination of secretary.
Who's that now?
You.
Nominate Mike Tapp.
There's been a lot to do, right? Like,
I was gonna suggest Jamie do this, but I don't think, okay.
Okay.
you good with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cindy had already made a motion for it.
Motion for Mike Tapp
I'll second.
by Cindy, second by Don Fouts. Discussion on that motion.
Yep.
Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. From Mike to be second. Next item of business is old business. Old business from city attorney,
Yes, sir.
old business from the fire chief, old business from the recording secretary,
Yes, sir.
old business from the commission.
Yeah.
Seeing none, we'll move on. Under new business, we'll invite Chief Michelle to speak about the full-time hiring process.
Good afternoon, Board. So we have a significant hiring process that we're going to go through this year in 2024. We planned to hire 17 new firefighters. So out of those 17, 12 additional firefighters will be funded for the year 2024. In looking at that, I was looking at different ways to possibly enhance our recruiting process and our application process. I believe the last application process we had less than 50 folks on it. And by the time we got through the testing process, as you know, we've exhausted all 8 of the list that we did have. So this is something I've been looking into. It is a testing process. It's a national recruiting process that we've been looking at. I've had experience in my career with uncertified processes and certified processes. My experience is that when you do an open process, so certified and uncertified process, you really enhance the applicant pool, and you really can attract a lot of talent. An example would be somebody who retired from the military service. We've raised our age now to 40 years. And so my explanation would be, or my thought process would be that there's a military vet out there that's 37, 38 years old that is looking for something to do, and they would fit in great with Harrisburg Fire Department. You know, there's maybe a teacher that doesn't want to be a teacher any longer. They would fit great. So those are things that we're looking at. So in that, specifically under Article 3, for the full-time applicant requirements and hiring procedure, I would like to, not at this meeting, but essentially have another meeting for amending some of those requirements. So specifically for prerequisites, them not having the prerequisite of having firefighter 1, firefighter 2 certifications, EMT basic certifications, those types of things there, you know, would be removed or amended so that we could allow for an uncertified process. The other part of this that we looked at is how do we go about to aggressively recruit and compete with our counterparts here in the county and the Indianapolis metropolitan area. And one of the things that I looked into when I was in the Fire Chief Summit in Orlando last July was a firm called Public Safety Answers. Public Safety Answers has done business with Clark County, Nevada, so Las Vegas Fire Department, Phoenix Fire Department, and just recently South Bend Fire Department has used them as well. And so it's a recruiting tool, but it's also a testing process where they have 30 days to online apply. They're tape recorded. They fill out the test. It's basically a high school equivalency test. It has a behavioral component, so they have on their staff an industrial psychiatrist that vets it, so it's a validated test. So it is something that is cost effective. Our people that when we put, you know, this process together, there's a lot of work hours that go into it. And then there's one day that we will meet to take this written test. So there are a lot of excuses, and they're all really valid. Maybe they can't find childcare that day. Whatever the excuse is, they may not be able to show up that day. This allows them 30 days for them to take an online test and to do the first interview online. We pick the questions, we score the questions, our group, our committee would do that. The written test goes automatically, gets downloaded. We average those scores, and the third interview would be in person. I did have Steve Don on the Teams meeting with Public Safety Answers, and Steve, I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, I would add at least what my opinion is. Again, I appreciated Chief Michelle asking me to sit in on the kind of the introductory meeting of this group. Sometimes you worry about, you know, if you take the face-to-face element out of things, you know, does it still have the same merit, the same weighting? This group is pretty solid. I mean, you know, I was very impressed. I think there was two main takeaways for me. One is they do the recruiting piece, so they help with the recruiting piece for the fire department. So you end up possibly with a much bigger pool of candidates, which then gives you the potential to have a higher quality of final list, you know, to be able to determine candidates from. They also take responsibility for most of the testing components of that, which then takes a little bit of the, it allows staff efficiency for the fire department and the fire chief's team as well. So I saw no downside. I think we were on a call for an hour. They walked us through several different components of it. Had examples from some of the other departments they test, showed us real life examples of the oral interviews and the written testing. So I am a huge supporter and a huge proponent of moving forward with that. Again, as we'd have, once we review our articles and see what procedural changes may or may not need to be done, but I would be in favor of it.
It's a much more aggressive and progressive recruiting tactic. And it's it's done nationally. So we would, in my experience in Bloomington, I had candidates. I did not use this platform, but I had candidates from Florida, I had candidates from around this, especially in the Midwest area. So I think that doing an uncertified process, again, the points are going to be there for folks that have the certifications. So they're built in. So it's really kind of theirs to lose. So they will already have those points. So they'll get preference points. So someone who is uncertified will really have to test out really well.
I will add one other thing because we did talk about it again in my past history. We certainly worry a lot about whether or not the processes are validated to the job-specific criteria. So it meets the muster of Department of Labor and potential for someone challenging the validity of the test. And they tested, 50,000 people, 20,000 people, whatever it was, and they've never had a challenge to their testing process. So.
Yeah, I found that impressive as well. So that's something that is going to be forthcoming. The other part that I'd like to kind of put on your radar is if we can, because we have to have 30 days, if you amend this for it to come to fruition, it'll be ruled, we won't be able to start this recruiting process, this testing process until after that's done. Right. So I think kind of put on your radar, I was thinking about the week of March 4th. If that's possible. I think it's 2 weeks.
Chief, have you and Shauna discussed what an amendment to the rules of procedure would look like yet?
Yes, we have.
Okay.
So we should be able to prepare a red line for you and get that to you timely.
Okay.
Perfect.
Chief, I have a question.
Yep.
So the entity that we would partner with is called Public Safety Answers,
Yes.
and there's a fee. We pay them a fee for doing that.
We do, and so we looked at, essentially, this is a cost neutral solution. We looked at what we've been using before was FPSI, Fire Police Testing Service, which is also a validated testing service. That's $45 per applicant. This testing process here, with the recruiting element and the testing element and the interviews, is $41 per applicant.
Okay.
So there is no other fee associated with it. So you just pay per applicant, for that.
Does the applicant pay a fee then as well to go through?
No, and I don't want to amend that. So we at least this time around are going to pay the full fee for them to be able to test. And again, we look at maybe somebody who may have financial issues, that sort of thing. This gives everybody a fair chance.
So in Nevada, Clark County, Nevada, and South Bend, Indiana, how long have they been using this process?
So this is a fair, again, I think Mr. Don said, but the number was around 50,000 that they had done without any challenges. But the firm itself, I think, is just a few years old itself.
Okay.
But I know that South Bend they will be going through their second process.
Okay.
I did have a Teams meeting with South Bend's chief, their assistant chief that does these types of things for their training division, and then also the Portage chief. And Portage, I believe, is going to this platform as well, but South Bend, this will be their second time. The first time South Bend used it, I think they had 150 applicants. I think they ended up testing 129 once they vetted their credentials and things like that. They felt like it was a great process. In fact, the only advice I got from the South Bend chief was to stay out of their way and let them do their job. He said that he didn't do that the first time around, and he wished he did. So they're going to use it again. So we feel really comfortable with this platform. And again, it's going to be a national recruiting blitz, and we just hope to get a really healthy applicant.
I think one of the things that was most impressive about the marketing piece was that it was geared toward the generation of people that are going to be coming into the fire service, not our generation, because I'm not going to look for an ad on Facebook, and I'm not going to look for some of the media marketing that this company knows how to do and they're good at doing. And again, our generation is done. I mean, so
Oh, don't put it that way.
And so anyway, I was pretty impressed, and the chief and I were walking in, and they had just posted a notice, he was telling me on Facebook, and they've already had 150 people say they're interested in getting notification on the process whenever it starts already. So
Already.
I think we're down a path to getting a quality hiring process. So,
I think it's an awesome idea. I can't imagine why we wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, we put it out on Friday. We've got a terrific staff, and one of them has a skill set for this type of social media and things like that. They built a website. We did vet it with legal, and so we put it out on Friday afternoon. As of Wednesday morning, yesterday, we had 150 already signed up. So feel like we're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
That's all I have. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
and so Shauna, procedurally, you'll send us a red line version, and then we'll reconvene on March 4th if we're
Well,
available.
you'll set another meeting date
Yes.
for when you want to do that,
Yeah,
and we'll make sure
that's what I
we
was
get you
gonna
the proposed changes in advance, so you can see that for review and then act on it.
And then it takes 30 days, and then
Or to be
it becomes
effective
valid.
after everyone has received a copy of it.
So I think next item on, any questions for the chief before? Chief. Thank you, chief, appreciate it. So I think our next item would be to set a next meeting.
Right.
March 4th is good.
The week of.
4th is on a Monday.
Yeah.
So maybe if we met on March 1st.
Your recommendation on the 4th, was that for any reason, chief?
I'm out on Friday,
First,
the 1st, yeah.
Okay. okay, you'd be back on the 4th. And
I'll be
available
back on
after
the 4th,
that.
so
Okay.
anytime the week of the 4th is fine.
So the 4th would be the first Monday of the month, so you would have a Board of Works and Safety meeting in here at 5:30, you'd have a council meeting at 7. I'm not aware of any before that for use of the council chambers, but
I'm more free and clear on Tuesday the 5th, if that works for anybody.
I can do either one of those days.
I can do either one too.
Same here.
I say I do have a 6 o'clock on the 5th. The 4th is totally fine.
4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So let's set our next meeting for Tuesday, March 5th, 4 o'clock in the council chambers. You don't think there's any other conflict, do you, Sean?
there shouldn't be.
So we'll, Kim, will you make notice?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
so our next meeting will be Tuesday, March 5th at 4 o'clock here in the council chambers.
I don't know what else will be on the agenda. Usually we're in and out in an hour because the only other thing, the first Tuesday of the month would be park board. Now that I think about it, they would start meeting at 5.
My guess would be we would be out in 8 minutes.
What? I agree.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Barring any unforeseen circumstances.
Okay, any other business come before the commission this evening? Seeing none, we'll stand adjourned at 4:18.